Hey y'all, what's up? I hope everyone is having a good day. Today's Raw, I did remember that it was pre-taped because I'm like, it's 2 days before Christmas, I think. I gotta reevaluate my life. Yeah, 2 days before Christmas, I got this bonnet on because I've been sick all week, like I told y'all, and my hair looks exactly like what I've been through. Okay, I was supposed to, excuse me, I'm supposed to wash it. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm flexi rod it or braid it. I woke up, went to go get some stuff, some wrapping paper and all that, and got my son Biscuitville. Then I got home, got a text like, oh, the team is meeting up for practice if you want to practice. I'm like, oh, get there, we're there till like 3:30, 3:40. Get home. I think was I wrapping gifts? Before that? I think I started wrapping gifts. No, I started wrapping gifts after that, and then I was like, some of this stuff I need to take back when I sat there and actually thought about it. And then I finally saw red one. And then my phone alarm went off, and I'm like, why is my phone alarm going off? I have it set for Monday and Friday at like 7:50 something. And I'm like, oh, it is Monday, ain't it? This is that weird time between like the 22nd and New Year's Day where people don't know what day it is or day of the week it is. And because I actually had to take off of work last week, I'm an extra week into that because I was down bad. I was sick so bad that I kept waking up last night 3 or 4 times, had post-nasal drip. I've never had that in my life. Like, tried to inhale or tried medicine, nothing worked. Had a neti pot and flush, and it came out, and I'm like, thank God. My poor son goes through it every night in the fall and the winter, but with the nasal sprays and the inhalers and the humidifier stuff, he good. But I'm like, golly. Anyways, I want to say that the Raw today was mid. And this is based off personal opinion. And I don't know if it's me because I forgot that today was Monday. I don't know if it's because when Raw came on, I was at the end of Red 1 and I was trying to do both, but then had to pause Red 1 to watch Raw and wasn't kind of really paying attention. I was paying attention, but in some parts I was like, I forgot that they were having a match. And then, or if it's because like the middle of the match, like some of the stuff in the middle to me was like, we could have just had a countdown of the best stuff that happened on Raw 2024 instead of having it on YouTube this year. Like, honestly. And I know everybody's trying to prep up for January 6th. But low key, some of the stuff that transpired today, besides the women's Intercontinental matches, we didn't need to know what was coming January 6th. Everything that happened today is not, that I'm aware of, is not something that's going to help, that's going to affect the first episode of Raw. So I'm like, we really didn't need this Raw today. That's just me. That's what I'm saying. This video, I make these videos in my personal opinion. I make them to release it out, and then I don't even remember what I say after that. It's just like, I gotta get it out. I gotta talk to somebody. And I like monologuing this because I could do a dialogue and have people share their opinions and have them share mine, like stuff like that. But I'm like, some people don't know how to have a dialogue, so I'm not doing that. Anyways, so it started out as, and this is not in order, y'all know, because I did not write it down today. Like last week, I had to write it down because I was so out of it. I couldn't remember my first name if you paid me. I was so like, I want to say I remember. Oh, when I logged onto my laptop because I had to log on my laptop because I was watching Netflix. I was watching Prime on my TV. Drew was in the ring, and people always put for the past week, who was the best villain or heel of 2024? Stop putting that. Drew won it this year, hands down. Okay, nobody can tell me different. Okay, then they had a post up there that was like, who was a villain that was right? And people put Karrion Kross. And I was like, and he kept talking about seeing the vision. Last year, 2 years ago, I was like, what are we doing with this? What are we doing with this? Because I'm like, it was random. Like the attacks on Shinsuke and the attacks on Drew, it was random. But, and they say he attacked somebody else too. Was it, they said Ray or Dom or something like that? But it was random. Then last year, when Scarlett was still blonde, I started seeing it. And I was like, oh, okay. Everybody else, it just took them forever. Now they're like, oh, we see it now. I'm like, 2.5 years later, okay. I was like, it didn't make sense at first. But then, like, when I watched some of the stuff on YouTube, I was like, oh, so if this didn't happen, then this wouldn't happen. And he was the origin of that. So he was talking about, I don't know, I just came in, he was sitting there talking about Sami and all them had coming, what was coming to him. And when soon as Roman calls, he didn't change. Y'all came after he came from vacation and stuff like that. And something about him in Scotland and 3,000 miles away and how people forgot about him after he had like the bloodiest match and blood coming out of his head and stuff like that. Talking about that strap match, which goes down as one of the greatest Hell in a Cells ever. Like when I think of Hell in a Cell matches or cage matches, my mind I get the Undertaker, McFoley one, the one with Rikishi, okay? This Hell in a Cell and cage matches in my brain, okay? The one with the Usos and the New Day, the one that just happened with Drew and CM Punk, and the one just now with 2 years ago with Seth and Cody Rhodes. It's some other ones in between, but them the only ones I can think of at the top of my head. So he was talking about how they all forgot about him and this, that, a third, and how people are saying that he's like being a victim and all this other stuff. And he was like, if you want to tell the truth, I did not nap today, that's why I'm tired. If you want to tell the truth, and I didn't sleep well last night, he was like, CM Punk and Roman are the villains. He was like, they're basically the heels. He was like, I'm not. And I sat there and I said, well, he ain't lying. He's not lying. And I've said that before because somebody made an interesting point. I was on Twitter, and now Twitter has it where you don't just see your followers, you see like random people, especially if it's pertaining to something that you always tweet about. So every Monday and Friday, sometimes on Tuesdays, I'll talk about, you know, wrestling in between me watching like movies and Housewives and all this other stuff. So someone had mentioned, was like, it don't matter if you're a heel, a face, or a tweener. They call it a tweener. I call him an anti-hero, but I think I like my word better. It was like, people are so, what they were saying, like, I'm paraphrasing, like, people are so caught up on the audience and the reaction of the audience that we're not realizing that some of the people we're cheering for are actually the heels in this situation. He was like, i.e. Roman Reigns, and who else did they cheering for? They said people, it was like people was cheering for, and they were the villains. Some people were saying Cody Rhodes, and I was like, that's very true, because I'm like, we didn't like Solo's ways about how he became tribal chief and how he treated Cody, even though I don't know if him and Roman made a pact or whatever, but the last straw was how he did Heyman and Jimmy, okay? But I'm like, we're not negating the fact, like somebody I followed, Jen George said, Roman is still heel in the situation. Then when I was on Instagram, like 2 weeks ago, or last week, Solo had put in his stories like a year ago today, Roman had made him the next tribal chief. So I'm like, technically, if you want to talk about that, Roman is the heel in this situation. But people love Roman so much, okay, that, my nose, that they're going to cheer for him regardless. And then people are talking about they love Solo. Solo's funny, hilarious. If he's not hilarious, he's getting so good because they was like, he can go back on his boat to his little island of irrelevancy and all this other stuff. And I was like, I tried to told y'all. I know the right words, tell y'all. I tried to told y'all 2.5 years ago when he debuted on NXT, when he had to beef with Carmelo, when he came to the main roster and he was just sitting there doing this and not talking. I said, why the hell we not listening to him do promos, and we just had him talking all on NXT? Like, get this man a mic. It took, when did he debut on what was that, Clash, what was that, September 2022? It took for, he said a couple words, but it took for after, so about 1.5 years for after Roman to lose at WrestleMania for him to actually start talking. And I said, and then we got a taste of when of Jacob's little promo when he said something to Roman. When he get a mic, it's gonna be a problem, okay? Somebody's gonna be up on their jobs. Because I'm going off on a tangent here, like I always do. But somebody, I was on Instagram and somebody was rating like women and men wrestlers, like honestly, 9 categories. And then someone will get 5 out of 9, 5 out of 9, 6 out of 9, stuff like that, because they'll have the look, they'll have the this, they'll have the that. But it'll be like they're lacking promo skills. Or, you know what I'm saying, they're lacking selling when they sell, like, a hit. Or like they don't play a heel well if they're a heel. Or something like that. And I was like, fair assessment to some people. It's true. And I'm like, I'm not a professional wrestler in no shape or form, okay? But, and it's not hating if you do it, I feel like, in a way when you be like, hey, you're great at this person's great. They're not the best at this, but they're still a great overall wrestler. That's basically what the stats are saying. If I say, so, people saying that to certain people, okay? And I'm like, in the age that we're in now, especially with stuff going on Netflix, I don't think there is, I think there's a reason why certain wrestlers are not pushed and don't get on TV, because they cannot do a promo. And I said that before. And I say that because everyone works well in the ring. We know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got hired for your look or your skill set, or you have potential to become better. You see what I'm saying? Everybody has that. So the athletic part is not the issue. It's the other parts that's the issue. Okay? Just like, who was it? I was watching on YouTube, Undertaker's podcast came across my thing 6 months ago. Weird algorithm. And, hold on, I gotta blow my nose. And, they asked to mention a modern day wrestler that you think is phenomenal. Like, moveset, all that. And I'm gonna use this person as an example. And Chris said Ricochet. And he was like, he loved him. He's like, especially with, he was like, he's loved him since he was Prince Puma, especially with the match with him and Will. He's like, that goes down in the history of one of the best matches in wrestling. He's like, and that, people are still running that back. And that was what, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago? And that was like, and people use like Ricochet or Natty a lot. Like, she's one of the best, greatest wrestlers of all time. He's the best wrestler athletically today. Like, if this man wanted to quit and be an action star, a Power Ranger, a stunt double, he'd get hired on the spot. And then the lack of promo skills for the both of them, I feel like, is what didn't get them, what doesn't get her on TV as much, and what doesn't get him pushed as much, if that makes sense. Like, when he was with Braun, I think Braun did most of the talking. And we know he could wrestle, okay? It's very entertaining. But when you do this, there's no connect. There's no way for people to believe it. Like, no voice change, no emphasis on your voice. That helps too. The tonality of your voice, like all of that. So, anyway, sorry I went off on a tangent. But, yeah, she said Roman and Punk. And I was like, I was around when Punk had the long hair and all that other stuff and wore the shirt and had the little wrestling, what are they called? What do they call? They just call bottoms. I call them wrestling draws. And then, and all of that. And then I was like, is he the villain because he left the company? And like, Drew and Seth say, and then they was like, they didn't need him, he needed them, or something like that. I'm like, if that's the case, then it depends on what was said while he was leaving and after he left. You see what I'm saying? That's what determines if he's a heel or not. Because Cody Rhodes said, and I think he said he's the reason why they have like certain stuff in the contract now. He just up and left. And quit, ain't tell nobody. Hold up. Now, I like the difference between Punk and Cody is Cody might not have burned his bridges with people. That might have been the difference. But I'm like, it's kind of the same thing. Okay. So he said all that in the middle of him saying that. Sami came out. Love Sami's music. It's feel-good music. Love feel-good music. Feel-good music is that type of music. You can have the worst day in the world and you'll hear it. And it makes you light up inside. That's why I say his music gives like 90s sitcom, like back in the day when you watch like Step by Step or Family Matters or Saved by the Bell or Martin or Fresh Prince or Seinfeld or whatever you watch, Living Single, Frasier, Mad About You, whatever. Because I watch all of those. News Radio. I have young aunts that are slightly older, so. But if you watch stuff like that, just the song made you be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? That's what his song gives out. So he comes out, forgot that this was pre-recorded for a second because he had the little mark right here in his face. And I said, and then I was like, this was literally 2 days after Saturday night's main event. And I was like, that gotta suck sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like when you have a PLE on a Saturday, I'm like, and you get beat down, okay? You was in that match before. And then you gotta come and work on Monday, so you don't really need to go home. There's no point in going home. And you just go straight to the next city. You just land in the thing. Especially if you're married, you can't get like no cuddles or got somebody. You can't get no cuddles, none of that. You just beat down in the room by yourself. That's the only benefit of being on Friday night SmackDown. Because if you go on Friday night SmackDown, that's one of the benefits. And then you go to a PLE on Saturday and you get beat down on Saturday, you can go home Sunday morning. But them Raw people, you just gotta go to work beat up, okay? Even more beat up than normal. But he was out here talking, and he was like, basically, what Jay and Jimmy and them ain't got and he ain't got nothing to do with him. Okay, like your beef with the bloodline is your beef with the bloodline. I get that, you know what I'm saying? But what we do ain't got nothing to do with you. And I was like, at this point, excuse me, if KO didn't have that beef with Cody, him and Drew just need to be a tag team, because Cody is beefing with KO's beefing with Cody because he teamed up with Roman. Roman gave KO hell. Drew is back on his revenge tour of the bloodline because Roman and them gave him hell. Like, y'all fighting, the old bloodline fighting the three-way battle, because if KO come back around, spin the block, you got him to worry about, you got Drew on the other side, then you got the new bloodline. Like, and wait till Bronson get done. I don't know how long it's gonna take him to recover from that surgery, but God, y'all, I'm still surprised they won that War Games, because as soon as I saw the Simone Werewolf and Jake and Bronson on the same team, I said the new old bloodline is gonna die. I was like, I don't even know. When they won, I was like, I'm trying to figure out how that was possible. Okay, like, I don't know. So he comes out, he's like, you haven't beat me, this, that, and third. He was like, I ain't got to worry about you. Sami was like, you right. He was like, you have bested me every time. And I said, I worry about you. I don't know about that part, Drew. I was like, maybe you might not have to worry about Jimmy. But then I was like, nah, he had to worry about Jimmy. Jimmy beat the hell out of him with that crutch. I was like, but Sami is always the one you got to worry about. He's always the one he get a call. He the friend or the cousin that's the calm one. And they be like, the quiet people are the crazy ones, or the ones that fight all the time. That's Sami. Because I'm like, Sami just be in the back chilling, and he don't get activated. Or he don't get active until somebody mess with his brother. You mess with Jay, all hell break loose, okay? Yeah, he get active about Jay. Because one thing about Sam, thing like Cody said about, and Triple H said about KO, that's the difference between KO and Jay, is the bond that Sami has with both of them is him and KO's might be longer, okay? And him and Jay's might be gotten quick. And time length means nothing when it comes to relationships, friendships, whatever. But KO done betrayed Sami so many times. Like Triple H said, he's out for himself and himself only. If he feels like you're in the way of that, or you no longer serve his purpose for that, he doesn't need you. Okay? With Jay, I feel like when Jay betrayed him and picked Jimmy, I think Sami knew that was coming, because that's his twin. Like, I feel like he might have been in on it, or he knew. Intuition. I feel like Jay only did that to protect Jimmy, make sure nothing happened with Jimmy. And then once Jimmy left, because he got hurt or whatever, Jay said, the hell with all this. I'm not going to be here and y'all sit there blame me and all this other stuff. My twin ain't here. I don't need to be here. And hindsight, Jimmy was right. But the oldest sibling always is. That's me. I'm the oldest sibling. So, so then they was talking. They ended up talking about that he started beating him or whatever. And then Jay come out, so the crowd go crazy. One thing about Boston, I give Boston, is they live. Okay, I think I mentioned that before. I said on the East Coast, especially Northeast Coast, I was like, to me, Madison Square Garden, except for the last time, it was alright, is not the livest crowd. Boston is pretty cool, but mainly it's like Philly. Chicago's not the East Coast, but it's like an hour and a half flight from New York, so Chicago's pretty live. Even Westchester, is that how they say it? Westchester is pretty loud. But Brooklyn is even louder. But Brooklyn is always loud. They Brooklyn. So I don't know. But he come out there. I thought he was gonna have them glasses on. He had on a pink bandana to match his shirt, and I said, why he got that bandana and he looked like he a Ninja Turtle or he a Power Ranger. Y'all remember the Power Rangers movie when they go up into that cliff and find that lady that turned from an eagle? The first Power Ranger movie with Ivan Ooze. And then she turned them into ninjas, and Tommy and them had them headbands on. And then and they tried to get her to join. And she was like, no, because she looked be as old as Zordon. And then they went from like that T-Rex Megazords to like the frog and the bear and the tiger and all that. That's what he looked like. He looked like a mix between a Ninja Turtle and Power Ranger. I think they had a crossover episode too, if I ain't mistaken. I think so. Anyways, I said, why he got that on? Like, why he... So, later on, him and Jay had a segment, and I guess they were talking about Drew. Jay wanted to fight him. Sam was like, no, he already asked Adam. And then he was like, I think help him. He's like, nah, he got this. He's like, you injured. Like, you just had. He's like, nah. And then he said something. It was like, Sammy was like, what is that? And then, what else happened? So then doing part of the thing. Who else fought? Was that towards the beginning or towards the end? Then it was, then it was a Judgment Day. So the Judgment Day is showing each other. Finn sitting like this. Liv sitting like this. Liv got her legs, first of all, crossed over on Dominik. And I said, wait a minute. Like, when we get close like that, okay? So, she's sitting crossover like this, right? So, something to say it. So she said, I thought you were going to take care of... Somebody said, I thought you were going to take care, I think, of Gunther or something like that, like tag titles. So then she was like, Raquel, tell Finn something. She said something before she got, Finn was like, JD, tell Liv something. And they kept going back and forth. And I was like, wait. He was like, I'm going to go to ask for a match with, like, Damien. So he was like, what you think, you better than me? He was like, no. He was like, to sort out for the family. And JD was like, I just want 1 week apiece. I said, JD is tired of y'all. JD is tired of y'all. I said, and not y'all playing telephone, sitting next to each other right here. Right here. Okay? Y'all in close quarters. Okay? Like, what is happening? I said, they can't stand each other. That is going to be a Judgment Day 1 and 2 or something else and something else. So, Dominik ends up about to fight Damien. And on his way there, I think the New Day had stopped him. And it was like, somebody understands us, because everybody was booing. And they were like, you get us right. And Tom goes around the corner like this. He was like, what he say? He said, I didn't like Big E. He was like, what y'all did was, or something like that. It was called him. He said, you broke his Tom Selleck. Sorry. And dog gonna say, Tom Selleck wishes and does the, and makes a face. And I'm like, first of all, his hair seemed like it grew overnight. And second of all, I hate that mustache. Okay. I was like, he's grown into being a cute young man. I can't say like, well, you fine, because, okay, too young. And he's married. And then all that other stuff. So, but I'm like, I'm a sucker for people with good teeth. Okay? Like, me in general. Okay? I was blessed to have straight teeth. I just only wore braces, I think, 2-3 years ago, just to straighten the bottom even more. But like the top row stuff always been straight. Good teeth and good cheekbones. Okay. But I'm like, it's a bad day when Dom, who doesn't like anyone, who was a heel and turned even more heel, don't rock with y'all. Like, that's bad. Okay. So, doing this part, he ends up going out there and fighting Damien. I think him and Finn got a similar individual background. When they go out, they got the white with the smoke. So he goes out, Damien goes out, they have a match. Damien at one point, I think, is having on this thing, just like told him, I was like, what is happening? So they fighting, and well, it's kind of one-sided, and that's the only thing recently about these matches like this that I don't really care for is speaking of people getting pushed, that hold on. So when I was talking about people don't get pushed because I feel like they're missing something like promo skill stuff, and then you got people that have all of it and they still don't get pushed. I.e. Montez Ford, i.e. Zelina Vega, i.e. Dawkins. Okay, Street Profits, Zelina Vega. Michina's getting closer to where she was, but still, she on that list too. Like, they are, to me, whole package, not getting what they need to get. Just saying. And then some people just got here. Even the people I found annoying at first, okay? Like when y'all was trying to push Tiffany on us real hard. And I was like, let her come in here and be like 4 months in before y'all give her something. And then they waited 5-6 months before she became Miss Money in the Bank. And then she went from being this total arrogant little girl, center of the universe, the NXT champion, this, that, and the third, the center of the universe, to being holding her own, to now being a pump. Like, can we get a happy medium? Can we get a girl that's not so arrogant, but still arrogant, but it's not a punk either? Like when Chelsea first came back, she was a Karen, which I couldn't stand. I can't do entitlement or Karens. And then we found a happy medium with her, and now she's a champion. Like, can we get that? Anyways, so it was just got the same, and she was just, but I don't like that fact that when we're fighting against someone and the person's supposed to look like the stronger individual, the other person gets tossed around like a rag doll for like 2-3 weeks. And then like the 4th week, they'll win the match. And it'll be a phenomenal match. Like, can we get it where it looks kind of even? Like, if Damien's supposed to look like the superior person in this match, can we get it where Dom fights back enough? And not when they're like on level playing field. Like, Damien might be here, Dom might be here, so he could hold his own, but he still lose. Not him looking like he just showed up to Wrestling Academy day 1. Okay, that's all I wanted to ask. And he had the Senegalese back in his head, Damien, because I think Saturday night, what's Saturday night? He had his hair out, and I was like, I haven't seen his regular hair out in a while. And so they was fighting. So then Damien goes outside the ring. He looks to see Santa Claus, and I was like, who is that? Because when I saw it, my thought was, he was going to go out there and wrestle, and then Finn was going to come and help, and Dom was going to end up losing the match. And I only say help because he was going to make it look like he helped so that Dominik could win, but he really didn't want Dominik to win because he don't want no one else beating Damien but him. That's what I thought was going to happen, me personally. He came, Santa ended up being JD. He ended up throwing Santa over there by announcement table. I said, God dang. Carlito ended up being under the thing. As soon as he put on the mat, Carlito was spitting out apple. I'm like, and where do he keep this fruit at? Okay? And do he get tired of eating apples? Like, does he get tired of doing that? Like when Liv had to eat those blue Jolly Ranchers, was she tired of doing that after a while? This post-nasal drip, I can feel it. It's right here. The cold in my chest moved up to right here. And it will not come out. It won't come out. So it's stuck. Sorry. So then while he pulls Carlito out, Finn comes out of nowhere. Now the ref don't say nothing when he pulls Carlito, because they didn't hit him. So Finn goes and hits him, the bell rings. So they go get him in the ring. All of them, he clears the ring out. All of them come out and jump him. And then, for a while, I was like, poor Damien ain't got an ally on his side but Rhea, because I'm like, ain't nobody cut out here to help him. And I was about to say, who's that? Oh. And then, as soon as I said that, my man come out. The War Raiders. Okay. Ivar's one of my favorites on Raw roster. And they come out and help. And they clear out the Judgment Day. And when they stood in the ring together, I said, them three look big as hell and scary as hell. Okay? They dapped up Damien. Came in the back. Damien basically thanked them for helping. And he was saying, Eric and Alba was saying that they, like, appreciate loyalty. And that they, was returning the favor. And I think they said something about, we hear you going up against Judgment Day. If you need us, like, we can help. I said, oh my God, it's going to be a 3-on-3 match. But I was like, who is going to be the 3? Because it's 4 people in Judgment Day. Oh, excuse me. Finally got it out. Thank God. It felt like I was coughing a lung up, though. Yeah, so I'm like, who's going to be the people? The third, who's going to be the 3? Because they could choose any 3. And if Finn is in the match, I know he's picking JD. Our next question would be, will it be Dom or Carlito? If Finn is the one that's going to call who's going to be in the match. If this 3-on-3 happens. But I'm like, based on the picture he put on his social media about a month ago, it's going to be Carlito, because he ain't have Liv, Raquel, or Dom in that picture at all. Okay? Also, speaking of matches, so they're showing a match in Orlando the day after Christmas. Okay, the holiday tour. They got. I'm so mad. Okay, one they got Nia versus Naomi for the women's SmackDown Championship, which we've seen. I'm not mad at that. Okay, I'm mad at these. I'm mad at two matches. The Fatal 4-Way Tag match is what I'm mad at. When they got DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits, and I think Pretty Deadly fighting for the tag title. Why is this not going to be on TV? Okay? That's what I want to know. Second of all, this other match is Bianca and Michin versus Pure Fusion Collective. That's a tag team I didn't know I needed. Like, I know Michin worked with Bianca, but it's been like a group setting. But I don't remember them. Second of all, which two people from Pure Fusion Collective? Because it's three of them. Like, what do we get? And why is this not on TV? Like, because I follow Michin, she was like, it was a commentary to the, but I'm like, why? And it sucks because I'm like, I'm not even going to Florida for Christmas. My siblings and I decided not to go to Florida because it's a lot to take. I have 3 siblings with kids. For them to take their 2 kids, each of them got 2 kids down there, me, my one. So my mom is coming up. But if we spent Florida, Christmas down there for Florida New Year, me and LJ would have drove a little 45 minutes or whatever to Orlando. 45 minutes? And went, because we know my mom don't stay in Winter Springs no more. So, well, traffic, it ain't gonna make no difference anyway. 45 minutes into Orlando. So I'm like, that would happen when we not in the state. I wonder if the holiday show is like a house show. Because I've never been to a house show and I wanted to go, and I said that last year. But now, because of the popularity of WWE and WWE called on Netflix, they stopped the house shows. So I've never even got to experience one. And I'm so mad because last May, they had one in Fayetteville. And then they had one in Fairfax at George Mason University, and I could have went there too, and I ain't go to either. They had one in Johnson City, Tennessee too. And if I go around versus going through 40, I end up passing through there when I drive through to Nashville. An 8-hour drive. So I'm like, yeah. But anyway, so I'm like, that 3-on-3 matchup with Damien and the War Raiders is going to be interesting. Okay? Because all of them look like they about 6-something. Tall, muscular, and all of that. The tallest person, no, Carlito might be almost as tall as Dom, or just as tall. But they're not as big, okay? I know size ain't got nothing to do with it, but if Eric is the powerhouse out of the group, how strong is Eric? That's what I want to know. Because when Ivar said that, when he did a 20-minute interview with Chris Van Vliet, it was in March, I said, so how much can he pick up? Like, that's all I want to know. Okay? So then we had them talk about, so then Chris and Joe had talked about what the events that occurred last week. And due to injury, Cart, or I'm not saying her name right, sorry. Kyrie Zayn is not able to compete for the IC Women's qualifying match. And so Pure Fusion Collective, I hate that name. I'm sorry. Can we come up with something else? I hate that name. I low-key don't like the NXT Fatal, what they call themselves. I've been calling them Fatal Attraction. What they call themselves, I think that's the name of the girls on TNA, or used to be. I don't know what the hell they call it. Play Fatal Influence. I don't like that name either. But I yeah, so they go to Adam talking about something. So you're gonna say, so we see that what's the name is injured. Man, how about I take her place? I was like, what? So when Adam was like, y'all the one who caused the injury. I'm not about to reward you for her having a match. So Shane was about to say something. He's like, don't talk. He said, I replaced her with EO. I started laughing. I said, you thought you was about to be in that match. And she had air on her face. I'm like, girl, you done came back. I said, you tried to sweet talk with somebody. I used to be a manager, so I know how hard it is. I was like, you came back and only had 2 matches. Like, you, okay? I was like, if they don't push you soon and nothing, you might as well just work, no shade, and like do production or something. Like the legends do. Like Road Dogg or Hurricane Helms or somebody do, cause or I think Tamina was on at one point in time. I don't know if she still does it. But, you know, cause I'm like, there's the way that the stuff is going forward with creative. There are some holes in certain situations. Like the Otis and Chad thing should have been way before next week. But certain factions and stuff, we take and go with it. You know what I'm saying? You know, like in the way certain stuff is going, we're not in the old era where certain storylines and stuff work. Certain ones for her to me didn't make sense anyway. Like I think somebody put on Twitter, they put up a clip of like her and Sasha and how Sasha was defending Naomi, and this she was like her and so Sonya had made a match with Mercedes and Shayna. So she was like, somebody was like, that beef was weird because we don't even know how it came to be. It's like not unless Sonya didn't like Naomi because Naomi didn't like Mandy. And I was like, Mandy trying to get with Naomi, man. Like, so then they was like, somebody's like, it was viewed as racist because after the beef with Naomi, she had beef with Bianca. I was like, when I started back watching, I don't know about none of that, okay? I was like, when I started back, I was watching Total Divas when I first started back watching in April of 2022, but I had binge watched Total Divas. But I'm like, that whole beef with her and Sonya situation, I was confused as hell. I was like, it don't make sense. It's mad holes. And I was like, and the matches was like, okay. Even the dark matches I saw. But then when she got with Chelsea, it was the best thing that I've seen her do in the past 3 years. I ain't gonna hold you, and it's my opinion. People might think differently. I was like, they elevated each other. Because I was like, Chelsea had the mic skills at the time. She had better mic skills. So they were tag team champions. So she helped with that. And I was like, and with Sonya being a vet and having been an MMA artist, she helped Chelsea improve in the ring. Because when Chelsea first came back, but I'm like, and I'm not saying that Sonya would train her, stuff like that, but I'm like, if you're with someone that's good and one of the best, you're going to step your game up because you don't want to look like you don't know what you're doing or you don't want to fall behind. And I think that's one of the reasons why, too, they had teamed up Bianca with Jade for a second. Because they put her on the main roster so quick. And I was like, she could have went to TNA. People was like, she could have went to TNA. But it was like, but she can't because they made a big deal, and then people were debating the whole. They put Baron down there. They put Ridge back down there. They done put Shotzi's back down there. Like, people won't, you know, they gonna love her regardless. And a step up, if all you did was AEW and you coming in the WWE and they talking about how much a machine it is, I think the next best step up is NXT. Not just because they do stuff differently, but you go from going on tour to a city once a week. NXT kind of, I think, got that same feel. Like, you have the Performance Center, and then they might go somewhere Saturday, and then they'll go. Now they're going to more places. Like, they just was in Massachusetts, I think, but they don't really go nowhere now unless it's a PLE, and they don't go out the country. So, anyways, but so they replaced her with Io. So Io came out, one of my top 5 favorite dance songs, and then I didn't even know who she was supposed to wrestle. And then who was it, Lord? Who was the other person? I know it was Natty, because she was last. And it was, oh Lord, who was the other person? Oh, it was Alba Fire. I remember because when I heard her music, I was like, oh, Alada's wrestling. And then they showed them on the competition. I was like, and I was like, didn't she have another singles match already by herself? And I was like, why? I was like, well, am I bugging? I was like, I think the last time they played her music, Alba might have had a singles match by herself. Or the time before that, because I think the last time they did a tag team match. I was like, I could be tripping, because stuff moves so quickly that you forget certain stuff. Like, I forgot what my son and I was watching earlier today, and it was like the best something 2020. Oh, we was scrolling through YouTube, and it was like the best athletes or something on 2024, and they had showed Patrick Mahomes, and I was like, dang, that was this year, because the year goes by so fast. And I was like, this had to be like March, because it was after football season. But I was like, it seemed like it was longer than that, but at the same time, it don't. So I don't know. Yeah, so Natty came out and her stuff. In my mind, I was like, Natty's gonna win, because she's always like the first something. And I was like, I wouldn't be mad if Alba wins, to be honest with you. They all do their thing, did their thing. Natty hit him with a double sharpshooter. There's no count outs in the 3 thing. I forgot what happened, but Io did something, ended up hitting Natty, and she won. And I was like, in the back of my mind, I knew she was going to win, but I didn't think that they was going to allow her to win. So next week, it's going to be her versus Lyra, and then Dakota versus Zoe. Now, I will say, when it's her versus Lyra, I 100% seeing Lyra winning that. Okay? Her being in the finals, or maybe even winning the tag thing. Because the people that I want to win, no, Dakota's still up there. I was about to say, the 3 people I want to win ain't even in it no more, but Dakota was my third choice, because Alita was my first and Shayna was my second. But that thing, but the match between Zoe and Dakota's up for grabs, for real. And I was like, I have no clue who's going to win this match. So I don't know, but I know that Lyra will probably be. And I was like, you know what? The past year, from December 2023 till now, it's been an Io year. You hear me? She done been in 2 WrestleManias. No, wait. She been in the last 3. Because her and Bianca, I was like, her and Bianca been in the last 3. But in the past year, well, I'm going to say, since I've been watching back in the past 2 years, she done been in 3 WrestleMania, War Games. She done been the women's champion. She done had numerous, what's the names, attempts to become the women's champion again on Raw and on SmackDown. She done betrayed somebody. She done been in the WrestleMania. Okay. She done been, what other BLE has she been in besides, where she done been in Money in the Bank. She done been, I think she was a tag team partner at one point in time too. Like, EO been getting her life this year. Okay. She been getting her whole life. I ain't mad at it either. Okay. Not mad at it. She won that match. She said, I said, okay, you better claim your title. Shoot. And then they had the match with Akira versus Chad, which I forgot about that match, to be honest with you. Cause when they did the matchup last year, to me it did. I mean, not last year. Last week it didn't make sense. Cause I was like, you talking about picking Alpha Academy one by one when none of the Alpha Babes. Why you ain't go for Otis? That was what I asked. I was like, you gonna go for Akira? And I was like, he ain't one to be slept on. So they have a match, and then it ends in Chad winning due to ankle lock. He doesn't let go even after the match ends, and Otis ends up coming to Akira's defense. And then Alpha Academy come out. No, the Creed brothers come out and say something. So then Otis is fired up, and they were like, next week we're finally gonna get Chad versus Otis. I'm like, we should have had Chad versus Otis like 3 months ago. Okay? When they broke off and made American Made, and he ended up staying, and then they changed their name. Even before they just changed their name like 2 weeks ago. But when they stayed, you should have had that match. Okay? Because if either side goes to another brand, I don't know. Like, now I feel like they're not never gonna like each other no more. But I feel like the heat of the beef has died down, if that makes sense. Like, you should have got that thing when it was fresh out the pan. Y'all waited till it's been covered up with aluminum foil and put in the refrigerator like leftovers, and then want to bring it back out. Like, don't nobody want that, not unless you're real hungry. Okay, so I want to see it because I want to see what kind of moveset and stuff Otis is going to bring to an Olympian wrestler. Like, most of the matches Chad and Otis have been with Alpha Academy have been fun matches. There have been some serious moments, but now y'all are going to be wrestling against each other. So you can't just be doing like the Caterpillar and stuff like that. Like, you got to bring some more stuff to it. So that's going to be interesting. Then Miz came out. And I was like, oh, I ain't hear his song in a while. I'm like, who the hell is he wrestling? And then they showed Dexter. I said, I forgot about that. And I was like, dude that said that he knew all the stuff about him 2 years ago. So they end up fighting. This is the part I didn't really pay attention to. Not because I didn't want to see the match, but this was around the time I started making food. So, unbeknownst to me, I don't know what happened in between. Okay? I just know when I came back, Final Testament was beating Dexter outside of the ring. And then they put him in the ring. All of them was standing around him. And then Scarlett was talking trash. Then I remember him doing like this. And the lights went out. And I said, nigga, y'all better run, okay? Well, I said, what the hell? I said, I would have ran out of there so fast. You mean to tell me I'm about to get jumped? And as soon as I do like this, the lights go out. You wouldn't have to, I'd have hit a J on him. I'd have got up out of there. Because listen, as soon as them lights would have went out, I don't care if it take me a while for my eyes to just be cat, like the cat eyes that they can see in the dark. I'm up out of it. No, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, no, sir. And as soon as the lights came back on, all the white sickles around it, I said, hell nah. Okay? And the people that got in it, I say that all the time, is the perfect match. Okay? If Nikki Cross ever wanted to take a break, put Tatum in there. Okay? I still want a match between them two. Put Tatum in there at her place. Because she played crazy real well. Okay? Gacy is my favorite. And that's why I was talking about, I think I said that on Friday. When they was talking about NXT Awards for best matches and stuff like that. I don't know if it was title matches or just regular matches. And I was like, why isn't the match, because they had Vengeance Day, and I said, why isn't the match with Gacy and Dijak on there? Whether he got released or not. I was like, that, to me, that was the best match of that night. I was invested. You hear me? I was like, he crazy as hell. He gives me Mick Foley in a sense. And I was like, that's why I like Liv too. Mick Foley's one of my favorites. I'm like, he'll try and do almost everything. Come out there black and blue, got one toe left, and still be ready to wrestle. Like, that was when he put on a show. He put on a show. And I don't know if you get royalties and residuals for them keep playing back certain videos, or if they got that in their contract, certain segments or something like that. But I'm like, if that is the case, he is forever making money. Okay? I'm just saying. But they came, and then all of them attacked him, and they threw Nikki on the group of people. And after that, the music was playing. And then as soon as that happened, something come across my Twitter and was like, before Bray had passed, he wanted to have a story with Carrion. I said, that makes sense. I said, now, that makes even more sense. I said, but before we knew that, well, I knew that, I was like, Final Testament and Y6 to me makes sense anyway. Because I'm like, who else would a Final Testament go up against as a faction? Like, that's the only thing that makes sense to me. Because I'm like, everybody else is smaller groups or something like that. And I'm like, I think they already went up against LWO. So, and then we get the final match of Drew and Sami. Sami tried his hardest to get his life together. He could not get his life together because he lost. He lost yet again. And I think he was still beating him. Drew was still beating him in the ring. So then Jay come out and helps fight him off. And I'm like, why he still got that bandana on? And the funny thing is, he gonna make money off of it too. I like, the stuff be looking ridiculous. I said, and then he'll sell it in 2 weeks. Just like popped up on my thing, like up, down, like in February or something like that. And they was all playing Tekken. I think Tekken 8 had just came out. And he had them glasses on. He said his family had got him a Christmas gift. And they was making fun of him for wearing them glasses. I'm like, and then April rolled around, or March rolled around, and he's selling Yeet glasses. Then he put Yeet on his glasses. I said, now he think he's Soulja Boy. Okay? Now he's selling them glasses. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, he keep wearing that bandana around his thing. Okay? Like, he and the Karate Kid, he gonna be selling them and gonna have Yeet across them and be making money. Because just like they say, first they laugh and talk about you, then they wearing it. Just like everybody did with that daggone Arby's hat that Pharrell had on. He set a whole worldwide trend with all the celebrities. Or just like what Cassie did when she was doing the cry for help, now that we know, sadly, in hindsight, And she shaved off half her head. Then half the girls was going around the world and the country bald on one side, hair on the other side, and Lala remixed it because she put designs in hers. My sister even did that stupid trend. I was like, you won't have to forever wear wigs or something. You won't let your hair grow out because the one side of your hair, Then you get into that semi-short, it's not short, but it's long, ugly phase that fades in between. That ain't cute. Like, okay. So he come out, and he try to help her. Then he get to try to do the splash off the top rope. He gets tripped off the daggone top. Tama Tonga trips him. So I'm like, what? So the bloodline come out. And Drew get out the ring, roll out the ring. And I was like, I forgot. Friday they was. He's talking about taking care of the new bloodline. Taking care of the bloodline one by one and then taking out Roman for good. I was like, this is what you get when you put the pieces together well. Good job, production. Okay? Because I'm still mad at that SmackDown before Crown Jewel. I'm still mad at that. Because why would you have the live event before the SmackDown? Should have just had the SmackDown at Saudi. Because I was like, when they had the live event asking questions with Michael Cole at noon, and then they had a pre-tape SmackDown, I was like, what is he talking about? Then you watch the SmackDown, and then the drama stuff ensues, and now we know what he's talking about. Because I was like, when did Jay and Jimmy reconcile? I was lost. Okay? So, they was talking about that. Joe said on Friday or something like that they had a conversation. Then they was all in there getting Jay. Then Sami tried to help. Then they end up attacking his back, and they end up putting Sami on Jay, and then Jacob puts the Ula Fala on Solo, and then the show ends. I was about to say the Ufalafa, like LA Nice here. On Solo, and the show ends. And I was like, this beef with Drew until he found somebody else to mess with. He got a three-way beef between him and Sami, him and Jimmy, him and Jay. I was like, because for the most part, when Roman was champion, even though he came close to winning that clash and Solo ended it, like, and when Drew and Solo fight, that's gonna be interesting. But I'm like, Roman ain't thinking about Drew. He is not thinking about Drew. If anything, he probably contemplating like, what is it that Punk gonna ask his wise men to do? But anyways, I am over my time. Sorry, it's a lot of coughing and ranting. It's more ranting probably than wrestling. I'm trying to get this cold up out my body. So I've literally been sick since Tuesday. It's Monday. And the cold has been coming up since Sunday, but slowly. So Friday probably look like something. I gotta do my hair because I can't be looking like this on Christmas. And I gotta go somewhere tomorrow night. But I hope you guys stay safe. You're blessed because you are blessed. You know, if you're spending Christmas alone this year, just try to make an adventure out of it. If you have the money to do so, go to a movie. Go sit and do something that you want to do. Next year, if you feel like you're going to be by yourself, you got a whole year in advance. Plan a trip. Okay? Everybody don't do Christmas with families. Like, yes, the movies show us that, but it's a lot of people that either don't celebrate or don't have family that are alive anymore, or they don't talk to, or in the same country and same state. So, and then when you get older and you don't have kids, or you don't have a significant other, you don't have nobody to buy stuff for or receive gifts from, it's a different type of Christmas. So if that means for you taking a ski trip to Denver, or like going to New York and seeing like the Rockettes and seeing Christmas stuff, and then doing the ice skating rink at Central Park and all that other stuff, do what you want to do that's best for you to celebrate the holiday. Don't get caught up in what society thinks how you should spend your holiday. Okay? If you go to Mass and then want to go to Sunday service, do that. Okay? If you go to Christmas Eve service, do that. If you want to go caroling, do that with a group of people you trust. Okay? Do whatever. Okay? If you want to sit on the couch like in your drawers and watch Christmas movies, or watch slasher movies on Christmas because you like horror or whatever, do that. But enjoy your Christmas. Okay? The 26th, what is that, Thursday? Enjoy your Hanukkah and Kwanzaa because they're both on the same day. All right, love you all.